All right, we're in Unit 1. We are still in Chapter 1 here. Just want to show you how we can work with some lists using the calculator. Okay, so there's some useful videos here that I'm going to also go over, not just explanations of how it works, but you can use a calculator on this this whole course, nonstop. All right, so the math side of this course isn't difficult at all, but you got to know how to use a calculator. So that's what we're doing here. I'm going to show you how to create lists, for those of you that don't know. So on a TI-83 or TI-84, you press that Stat button and Edit. All right, this is what it'll look like. Press Stat and Edit right there. Press Enter to select what function you're looking at, and then here's your lists that you can fill your stuff in, right? To enter data, simply use the right or left arrows to select a list that you want. Then type the entries that you want into the list following each value with enter. And note that it's not necessary to type any trailing zeros at all, which means like if it keeps going on, like you have to type in 13.0. They won't even use the spaces, okay? Entering data into a list with the cursor at the first row of L1, for example. Type the 1, press enter, and move the cursor down like it'll keep moving down. Type 3, press enter, and so on down the line. Continue the whole way down to fill that in. This is just what mine looks like, so if you want to get some practice plugging it in, you certainly can. You can correct mistakes with delete and insert. So if you wanted to, this is just a quick little idea. You can go to the screen above and we can delete the 45 by pressing that arrow key up and then pressing delete on it. Alright, don't worry about the stuff for T89 because I'm not focusing it, but if I go over that, I can basically just delete that if I wanted to by pressing delete, is what this is saying. To insert a 2 above the 3, move the cursor to the 3, and then press second delete, and that'll help you insert on a 89, but again, I'm focusing in on this, so if I wanted to, I could highlight that and plug in another value if I wanted to. To clear a list, this is key. You want to highlight that L1 or L2 and you want to press clear. Make sure to not press delete. It will delete the whole thing and that's bad. You're going to hear me say this a ton in the course. All right, the list. Otherwise, you will literally have to go up to Setup Editor as described below to receive it. So what happens if I accidentally delete a list? All right, I'm going to teach you how to fix that now. All right, so when kids ask me these questions, they know where to go. If you accidentally delete a list, all right, as in you go up to L1 and you accidentally press delete, what do? If you wish to delete a list from your stat editor, simply highlight the list name and press delete. I don't recommend doing this at all. But if you do, the name and the data are gone from the editor. All right, to recover a list inadvertently deleted, use Setup Editor as described now. Setup Editor. All right, setting up the editor will remove unwanted lists from view. Okay, just they're all gone. Any unwanted lists from view. It also will recover lists which have inadvertently been deleted. So on a TI-83 or 84, if you want the stat editor to be restored to its original conditions, like let's say you forgot those or they went away, press Stat 5, enter. Often students find this necessary because they have inadvertently deleted the list. If you do that, this will pop up. That's why they said to press enter, and it will come right back. Generating a sequence of numbers in a list. From time to time, one may want to enter a list of sequenced values. Years, for example, right, is another one. It is certainly impossible to enter the entire sequence just as one would enter normal data. There's an easier option. Use your cursor, right, if you know that they're coming in sequence, all right, and highlight L1 at the top. Press second stat, arrow over to 5. All right, you are choosing the list menu and then choosing the OPS submenu. And from that menu, you will choose 5 and then sequence. Okay, so the reason why I'm choosing 5 is that I end up having a sequence of 5, right? You see all that in there. All right, this has been pasted on the bottom line of the screen. Type in the rest so that you can see sequence. All right, from that to that of 1 to 28, press enter, and the sequence of integers from 1 to 28 will be pasted into list 1 as in my screen. All right, find the X on that button, all right, key on the T83 or 84, and it'll do it for you, but it'll plug in all of them on your list 1. All right, sorting lists. Lists may be sorted in either ascending or descending order. The resolving list will replace the original one. So on your main screen, you press Stat, and then there is a sort A, all right, for the second thing, or sort D for ascending or descending, and the command will be transferred to your home screen, right? So basically, if I'm looking at all this, what I can do is press second in their list, execute command by pressing enter, and it'll sort the list for you. So if you go to Stat and you press 2 to sort, the command will then transfer that to the home screen, and you can just type in what you want to sort, basically. All right, and it'll sort it for you, and now that same list is in order over here. The most common mistakes, why is my list missing certain things? The most common error, aside from just plugging in the wrong thing or deleting the lists. All right, the list thing happens all the time. When lists seem to be missing, the user has pressed delete rather than clear up here. That is the biggest thing. And then notice how there is no L2 anymore. Right here, Stat and Setup Editor will fix those mistakes. Right, that is the biggest mistake you will have. Please don't do that, because it will mess up a lot of stuff. But this is me showing you how to fix that. And I hope that gives you some background on plugging in and using your lists on your TI-84.